the abode of light. So let me give you a few words I'm sure you all know about our spiritual master. Millions of people know, revere, love and cherish Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj. His global conferences, his meditation seminars, his programs across the world have won immense accolade. With a bachelor's degree in IIT, there's only few privileged to get into IIT. He's a bachelor's degree from IIT Madras and a master's from the Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. He's had a 20 years successful career in communications and technology. He's best-selling author of many books. They include The Detox the Mind, Meditation is Medication for Your Soul, Inner and Outer Peace Through Meditation, and Empowering Your Soul Through Meditation. For his accomplishments in the fields of peace and spirituality, he received a Distinguished Leadership Award from the IIT Chicago. He's also been bestowed as many as 5 honorary degrees and doctorates for his exemplary work to humanity to bring out a world of peace, a world of unity, and a world of spiritual upliftment. He shared his meditation technique at major universities, medical schools, and spoken at the United Nations several times. I now request the Master to come forward and present his talk on the abode of light.
Honorable Minister Shri Hardeep Singh Puri Ji, distinguished Mrs. Lakshmi Puri, dear brothers and sisters, it gives me great joy to be here today and to be a part of releasing the book, The Abode of Light, a book of many verses written by Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj about the personal life and the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. The teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj have impacted the lives of millions and millions of people all around the globe. On his 500th birth anniversary, the book Manzil-e-Noor was written by Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj to elaborate on the teachings, to put them into a form where many aspects of the teachings could come forth to people who might not be that familiar with Punjabi. As that book was awarded by the Urdu Academy in those days, it felt like there was a need to make the book available to the masses, those who were not familiar with the language, those who spoke English, those who lived in many different parts of the world. So this is a humble effort into translating this wonderful book. Generally, the one who writes the book, the poet Saint Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, is totally familiar with what they want to convey. And so when we translate something, we lose the import exactly of what it is there. So I've tried my very best to translate into English as well as I can, so that the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj would be available more freely. I hope that as you go through the book, that each verse makes you think about the import, think about the teachings and ponder on it. Try to put them into your own lives, because the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj are as applicable today as they were over 500 years ago when he gave them. His teachings were very simple, but as we put them into our life, they transform us from being an ordinary person to being one who's spiritually uplifted. He came at an age in which there was a lot of distraught. And as we look at our lives today, we find ourselves to be in similar times also. And so I'd like to take a few of his verses written by Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj about Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj as they came from the book, just to point out the teachings and the various aspects which are kind of covered in the book. The first verse talks about the birth into this world of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj in this verse, and as we translate this to English, he's saying, with your divine beauty, the sun of spirituality rose. With your divine beauty, the sun of spirituality rose. And the beauty of the tipplers became even more ravishing. So he's talking about learning about spirituality. He's talking about the attention that we as human beings have in the world and not on God. And so he's letting us know that those who were focused in the world started to think about what this life is all about. And then he says, with the wondrous way you played the intoxicating rabab, the entire spiritual tavern swayed in ecstasy. The outer instruments are there for us to enjoy the music of this world. But what is called dhurki vani, or what is called shabd, or what is called naam, is what we really need to connect to. And through the grace of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, there were millions and millions of people who, through the rabab and through the outer instruments, could get to the inner music, the celestial music, the music which makes us experience ourselves as we truly are, not as the human body, not as the mind, not as our intellect, but as soul. And that soul gets uplifted. And then Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj is saying that drinking from your divine wine, the intoxicated tipplers were transformed by your embrace from duality into oneness. As we meet people in this world and as we embrace them, then we are two. But as we get an opportunity to embrace God, which we do when we connect with the celestial music within, then duality is gone and we become one. And it's that oneness that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj wanted us to experience. The oneness with God, the oneness with all other beings, the oneness that we're all part of an extended family of God, so that we could live in peace, we could love our fellow beings, whether they be humans or animals or birds or all other living forms, and we could lead a life which would be happy, which would be joyous, which would be fulfilled. So this is the first verse in the book. Verse number 6 talks about your every message brings remembrance of God. Your every step reminds us of the goal to reach our eternal home. As we lead our lives in this world, we find that we are so involved in many, many activities. We all have a to-do list that we need to do every day. We all are trying to learn about this thing about the world, or that thing about the world, or this activity happening in our community or in other parts of the country. And what we forget is that instead of being focused on the outside, because this is the world of illusion, this is the world of Maya, we need to connect to something which is permanent. Everything on the outside is temporary. It's there for a limited amount of time. And so Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj here is letting us know that the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj was that we remember God. Naam japo. Like remember God's name. Why? Because wherever we focus our attention, that's what we become. And so he's saying, your every message brings remembrance of God. Your every step reminds us of the goal to reach our eternal home. Our soul is transmigrating from one existence to another. So while in the human body we have this opportunity to connect our soul with God and get to our eternal home. And then he says, your naam is celestial happiness and eternal light. Naam or Shabd, as Kabir Sahib has said in Gurbani, and he says, Awal Allah Noor Paya, Kudrat ke sab bande, Ek Noor te sab jag upja, Kaun bhale kaun mande. So from the Creator came this Naam or the Shabd or the Noor, and it brought all creation into being. So Kabir Sahib is letting us know that who are we to say this is high and this is low and this is good and this is bad. And those were the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. That we all are one, we all come from the same source. And so we need to find the goodness in each and every one of us. We need to focus on what is good, and that's the kind of life that we need to lead. And so he says, your Naam is celestial happiness and eternal light. The inner regions are lit by your glance. The eternal effulgence is experienced by traveling on your path. God's light is seen in your eyes. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, who was one with God, through him, the light of God was illuminating the darkness that we have in our day-to-day existence. And so he brought light into the life of those who were struggling in darkness, who did not have an opportunity to know what their goal was, who were lost in the activities of the world. So the light and the love of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj brought joy and happiness and peace to the life of millions and millions. Not only at the time that he lived, but even now, and it'll stay there for generations and generations and generations. And this is what the beauty of the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is all about. That every time we read his teachings, we read his words, every time we think about him, a new opening comes into our life. So that we who might be struggling with one thing or another, find solace and we'll find a path and we can go forward towards our goal. In verse number 8, Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj says, and he's talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, he says, you made God's light manifest in this world. In every heart, you reveal the secrets of love. Love is something which has to be experienced. We can read about love, there are books about love, we can read them, but do we experience love? It's only when the grace of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj fell on the people of those times that they could experience the love within, which was the love of God. And so here Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, you transformed the season of autumn into spring. The Pachar was gone, all the greenery came into the life of those who understood the teachings, followed the teaching, put them into their lives. You loved God as you loved all human beings. Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj actually written, Khuda se ishq kiya, aadmi se pyar kiya. The love that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj had about God, the love for God, the love of God that he experienced himself, made him realize the oneness of life itself, so that his love went to all humanity. And it's that love which binds us, is that love which shows us the path, is that goal that we need to achieve to be able to love God with all we have. And then Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, you radiated light on every path and filled eyes of every heart with the light of God realization. We're all here to know who we are. Many of us think of ourselves just as a human body. Many of us think of us as a brain. Many of us think about emotional relationships. But in reality, we are soul, which is giving life to this body. So we need to realize ourselves first before we can have God realization. So self-realization means realizing who we are, and then once we realize that we are soul, then we realize that God the Creator has given us this opportunity to be able to know God, and then we can take steps toward God realization, which come through meditation, we come through going into our inner being, which comes through sitting in silence. And as the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, he would let everyone know that we can do that by living in the society, by living in our homes, that to know God, we don't have to leave our homes, we don't have to go on the top of a mountain or sit on the banks of a river and just close our eyes and think about God. That by living in our families, by fulfilling our responsibilities, each and every one of us can know God, can be with God, can experience God. And as we go further, in verse 41 of this book, Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, and this is very interesting, is the vision of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Those were the times when the societies were very male-dominated. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj talked about the upliftment of women. He talked about equality of gender. And he talked about the partnership between a male and a female, and them helping each other. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj has written about that. He says, he proclaimed, a woman is a world of virtues. She is a compassionate mother. She is a life partner. Because of her, the marriage procession is decorated with goodness. Through her lips, we have learned about love. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is talking about the love that we all get from our mothers, our wives, our daughters, our sisters. He's talking about the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, who uplifted the woman even in those days. And today there's a lot of talk about upliftment of women. But over 500 years ago, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's foresight was that we're all one and the same, we're all equal, and we need to respect each other. And then Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, in her absence, and he's talking about woman, in her absence there is no world. What is life? She is Nanki, she is Mary, she is pure Sita. So he's referencing to the women who've come in the past, who've been examples for all of us. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj talks about this foresight of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. In verse 61, he says, he always proclaimed, earn your livelihood through hard work. Through this path, purity is attained. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj always talked about standing on our own feet. We need to work hard, we need to work honestly, and we need to support the responsibilities which have been given to us. If there's a family, we need to support our family. As parents, we need to support our children. As children, we need to support our parents. But we need to work hard. And we need to be in a state where whatever we do is done honestly. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, like, if food is obtained through cruelty, then what is attained? Rise and through hard work attain the grace of God. Honest work in the field yields good crops. Lack of strong determination results in fruitless results. So he's letting us know that we need to be determined to go towards a goal. We need to keep our focus straight, and to get to our goal we need to work hard. And as we put in an effort, the rewards will come automatically. Our job is to put in the best effort that we can and leave the results in God's hands. And when we put in the best efforts, when we work hard, when we're honest about whatever we do, then the path towards salvation will open up automatically for us. And so these are the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And in the end, I'd like to take verse number 70, which talks about some of the achievements of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And here Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj says, he says, from the dawn of creation, you spread eternal light. In Gurbani we have, Aaj Sach, Jugaad Sach, Hai bhi Sach, Nanak, Hosi bhi Sach. Okay, what was true in the beginning is true today, it'll stay true forever. And so Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, from the dawn of creation, he's not only talking about the physical birth of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. He's talking about the oneness of God, the great soul, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, who came into this world to help humanity. So he says, from the dawn of creation, you spread eternal light. You brought light into the darkness that we all are in. You had us connect with the divine light within. You had us connect with the Shabd. You had to connect with the celestial music within, so that layers and layers of mind, matter, and illusion, which are covering a soul, would be dispelled. And then he says, you spread the message of spring to the farthest reaches of the world. You know, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj had these 5 long travels. He went to the Middle East. He went to Ceylon, which is now Sri Lanka. And you can well imagine those days, when you go by foot or you're traveling, how much time and how much effort does it take to go from one part of the country to another and to visit so many other countries and bring that message of love and message of peace and message of oneness to the people in those areas. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, you spread the message of spring to the farthest reaches of the world. You lit the lamp for abandoned travelers on the way. People who were focused in the world got a direction as to where they should be going. That instead of going outwards, we need to go inwards. God is not sitting up in the sky. God is within each and every one of us. Actually, our soul is a part of God. And so the mechanism of sitting in silence, stilling the body, repeating God's name, which is Simran, and being able to connect with the Naam or the Shabd or the holy word which is within each and every one of us is what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's teachings are all about. And so he says, you lit the lamp for abandoned travelers on the way. You live for humanity and sacrifice your life for all. When you look at the life of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, when you think about the travels that he did, you can well imagine of what physical strain would be on his body. And so here, Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, you live for humanity and sacrifice your life for all. Your love will last for all eternity. The teachings and the love and the grace of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj will last for eternity. There's just no doubt about it. There are millions and millions of people who've imbibed their teachings into their own lives, whose lives are being lived in a manner in which they should be lived. And Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, your love will last for all eternity. And then he says, may your message of relieving pain and grief spread throughout this world. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj wanted all of us to be happy. He wanted us to be peaceful. He wanted us to be joyous. And so as we all gather here today, it is my prayer to God Almighty, and I pray to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, that His grace be always there with each and every one of us. It is my humble prayer that this book, The Abode of Light, brings light into the life of those who might not have heard about Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj or his teachings. And all over the world, the teachings and the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj resonates in the heart of each and every one. So thank you very much.
Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't belong to a nation, let me assure you. He belonged to the entire creation. And the entire creation belonged to him. And this creation has been so creatively captured in the Abode of Light. I now request our honored dignitaries to launch the Abode of Light. So let me get Hardeep Singh Puri ji now to give his point of view, his stories, his understanding of this very, very deep subject of Sikhism, of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and his learnings. Sir.
Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, Mata Rita Ji, esteemed dignitaries, brothers and sisters, I feel greatly honored and extremely fortunate to be present at the launch of this book, Abode of Light, which is the English translation of Manzil-e-Noor, which was released in honor of the 500th Prakash Parv of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I consider it a deep privilege to now, having become a part of this book's journey, and thank Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj and Mata Rita Ji for giving me this opportunity. As we have heard from Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj today, the original version was composed by his father, the poet saint Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, in Urdu. What makes a saint relevant even after 500 years? I submit to you in all humility that the strength of Baba Nanak's message, the centrality of its content, the universal applicability of the beauty of that message. But I say this as a proud Sikh, that Baba Nanak's message 500 years earlier, and Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, you spoke about gender equality or women's emancipation. The poet saint Sant Darshan Singh Ji encapsulates so beautifully is that at the end of the day, you resolve your inner turmoil, your inner conflicts, not only through meditation, but also through pursuing a path which is righteous, which respects fellow human beings, and also respects Mother Nature. Because at the end of the day, the environmental degradation which we are seeing is ultimately the result of the conflict between man and nature, and some boundary lines having been crossed. So we are being acutely conscious now, and I also think that to that extent, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was the forerunner in many respects of the sustainable, green, environmentally, ecologically friendly agenda that we are all pursuing. Before I read the translated verses, I was intrigued, for a variety of personal reasons also, to learn more about Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj's inspiration as he prepared for the near impossible task of encapsulating Guru Nanak Dev Ji's divine life in a single poem. And I found in the remarks at the beginning of the book, there were some thoughts that provided crucial insights. And I would, with your permission, Sanjit, like to quote. And he says, and I quote, "How could I pour an entire ocean into an earthen vessel? Although this daunting task was beyond my ability and capacity, my endeavor was kept alive due to the wishes and guidance of my father, Param Sant Kirpal Singh Ji Maharaj. I don't need to see it. See the sagacity, the wisdom, and also the humility. And I want to add, and I quote, I have briefly touched upon Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's message of spiritual upliftment. If I were to attempt to describe the full depth and breadth of his message, then my humble boat would not have been sufficient to traverse the ocean," unquote. He appreciated the magnitude of his undertaking, and he was humble enough to recognize the human deficiency of attempting to convey the divine. There were many aspects of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's divinity that this exquisite poem touches upon. But I was particularly drawn towards the verses that expound his message of harmony and love. With the permission, Sanji, there are two verses that I would like to read out. Verse 17. Light of consciousness was bestowed by you on the soil of Bharat. You granted self-realization and opened the inner eye through your overflowing generosity to all humanity. With your sweet tongue, you applied balm on the wounds. All humanity is grateful for your mercy as you bestowed the medicine of Naam to cure all diseases of the heart and life. I must confess, I regard myself as not easily moved. But this is not just poetry of a very high order. I think it spiritually, it resonates and touches the core of one's sensitivities. If I have your permission to quote verse 22, devotion and pure living were your faith. Your nature was like water and air, which did not discriminate between friend and enemy, and bestows benefit to one and all. Your life emits the light of love, which upon burning spreads the fragrance of sandalwood. I believe these verses remind us of the importance of seeking love through faith. The path towards connecting with the humanity, irrespective of the divisions of religion, caste, and class, lies in pure living and devotion. And Sanji, that is a central tenet of the Sikh faith. And I must join all other brothers and sisters for applauding you for not only symbolizing but being a supreme example of how pure living and devotion can be met. And I think you inherited this from your father, and I think this is also a central message of your mission. We live in an era when there are strong temptations to deviate from the path of righteousness. At the workplace, we are surrounded by a society that has increasingly become more individualistic. Few of us take the time to introspect, particularly the younger generation. In these challenging times, meditation and tolerance have provided strength and clarity to so many who have chosen the path of humility and faith. I think it is customary for all of us to say that ours is the best religion. If I join that, I don't mean it in the sense that it might be popularly understood. I believe that the core message of Sikhism, which is anchored in humanism, is that this is a message of universal brotherhood, which is captured in the core tenets of the faith. Kirat Kamai, earning an honest living. Van Chako, community and public service. And Nam Japo, prayer, meditation and introspection. These tenets have a long-standing impact on people's lives across the globe over centuries, even more so in the tumultuous times we live in today. Ranji, I was not surprised, although I must say, I was not entirely surprised when I was told that you have centers in 50 countries. I have served in many parts of the world, so I know about the existence there in Brazil, in the United States, in Switzerland. And I think that these tenets, which have had a long-standing impact on people's lives across the globe over centuries, even more so in the tumultuous times we live in today. The following verse from the poem reflects the enormity of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's accomplishment. And I, with your permission, will read verse 7. Your message lit the darkness with the divine light. It eliminated the darkness of desires. You distanced the hearts from the desire for silver and gold, for your heart discovered the path to God. You protected truth in the darkness of untruth, and an ascetic ruled the world. Unquote. There is so much more that a disciple like me would want to talk about the wisdom of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teachings and their relevance in the modern world. But I'd want to bring the conversation back to Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, whom I want to commend for this impressive achievement. Like his father before him, Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj has honored his father's legacy in a beautiful way. In 96 intricate and sublime verses, he has done a commendable job in not just translating this beautiful ode to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but also capturing the essence of his message. As a professional foreign service officer, I know what languages are and how difficult it is to translate from one to the other. But I think you have not only done justice, but in many ways you have succeeded in bringing this message to a much larger audience thanks to the English translation. I want to thank you, Sanji, once again for inviting me to this event. I wish the book a grand success, and it is my most fervent hope that it inspires many more people, especially our youth. Thank you very much.
As you said, please close your eyes very gently, just like you would close them when you're going to sleep. Just make sure there's no pressure on your forehead, on your eyes, or any part of the body. So this is like concentrating within a relaxed state. Make sure your eyeballs are straight, like focus 8 to 10 inches in front of you. As you close your eyes, just repeat any name of God you feel comfortable with. And if you don't believe in God, you can repeat any name which is peaceful to you, which is loving to you, which will bring calmness in your life. And as you repeat this name, just be concentrated right in front of you. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us there connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. you might experience like flashes of light, circles of light. Just keep your gaze right in the middle of your experience, and with time, you might be able to experience lights all stabilized and maybe many, many other vistas within. I'll be getting you out of this meditative state in the next few minutes, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off.